Hello everyone, my name is Mudit Pandey and I'm the co-founder of My Admission Card and president of Sevi Foundation. As you all know, towards an initiative to bring universities directly to you, we have one of the most renowned and good university from USA today, University of St. Thomas from Minnesota. So we have today here the representative of the university to assist you directly with the admission and all the processes. So welcome madam, welcome Anju madam to the show. So can you please introduce yourself to the audience so that we can move forward from here?
Hi Mudit. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me at this platform, and you are doing a very well job by educating students towards their destinations. And it's not only about a business; it is about how we create a life and how we shape them. So that is very important for all of us. So a good job. Well
Thank you,
done.
man. Thank you. So creating an ecosystem is always important.
Always
Because
important.
I'm
Correct.
from a small town, and the main motive of this show is to actually assist the student from these small towns like Prayagraj, Kanpur, Banaras, Varanasi. So we are more focused in the tier 2 cities. And we just want to make them understand that the abroad education is affordable for them. So that is the reason we ask you to come here and talk directly to them and tell them about the advantages of going to and studying in USA, and especially in the city like Minnesota. Like what are the expenses so that they can plan accordingly. So can you just tell us a bit more about the place? Like what are the advantages of studying in Minnesota? First of all, then we'll go to the university.
Sure. Yes, University of St. Thomas is located in Minnesota. Minnesota is in north. It's in north central, if you have seen the map.
Okay.
And we are one of the safest and happiest states in the US. What I understand, I'm a counselor myself, so I have been in this industry since last 20 years, as you know. What I understand from a student's point of view, for them, safety is very important.
Yes.
And then course content is same because you talk about any university, we have around 4,000 plus universities in the US. So if we talk about the program, every university is having almost all the programs. So that is not a thing to differentiate. But if where we differentiate is like, what are the health kind of facilities available, and how is the health sector doing in that sector and in that particular state, and the safety, which is very, very important. And I think the most important thing is ROI, how it is going to work. So these three things are very important. I am being a mom myself, I checked all these things before joining that university, to be honest. And the thing was like, when I spoke to the students, I came to know that they are so safe that we have our own escorts in the evening for them. So it's a very safe state, and population is around 5.7 million overall, Minnesota. And Minneapolis is around 3 million. And we are having two campuses. It's called St. Paul and Minneapolis. And these two cities are known as Twin Cities. So very popular by the name of Twin Cities. And we are in top 10 best cities for STEM careers. We are in top 2 for healthcare system, and we are one of the happiest and safest states. So these three things are very, very important for all these students. And then next is ROI. So let's talk about it later maybe.
Yep. So moving forward, as you said, it's a very safe city was the first thing that you said. So do you have your own accommodation in the campus, or like the student has to stay outside? What it is like? Because accommodation is the first thing that comes into the mind of a student, and second is the meal. So meal will go forward later on, but like accommodation is the first concern of any parent. So do you have your own on-campus accommodation?
Yes, we do have our own campus accommodations for our undergrad students, and our undergrad campus technically is St. Paul, which is only 10 minutes drive from the airport, which is like Minneapolis. It's an international airport. We have direct flights from India. It's like one-stop flight from India, direct to Minneapolis, and it's a good airport, not very crowded like O'Hare, but yeah, it's a good airport, and university is only 10 minutes away. So we have around 6 to 7 hostels available on campus itself, and they are like 4 to 5 minutes walk from the departments. Best thing is like, since we are in north and everybody is aware in US that snowfall is gonna be there. Though we enjoy all 4 seasons, but yeah, in case you don't like snow, because it snows from January till April. But if you don't like it, we have tunnels from the accommodation to department. So students can actually avoid that if they don't want to. But if they really enjoy the snow, they can enjoy ice skiing, or maybe ice hockey, or maybe different sports which are like generally there when the snow is there. Otherwise, all 4 seasons are best enjoyed there.
So we have our own accommodation to facilitate the students. So what about the fooding options? Do they get normally Indian foods within the campus, or do they have to go outside? And how far is the city center from your university campus?
Both the downtowns are like hardly 10 minutes away,
Okay.
because the distance between the two cities only is 20 minutes.
Oh,
And we have a free shuttle for that.
okay.
See, if the student wants to go to the other city, we have free shuttle. We have around 440 theaters there. We have around one of the biggest malls, which is Mall of America, is available, is there in St. Paul itself. So 10 minutes drive from the campus. We meal coupons are there for the students. They can enjoy continental meal, though we try to give different kind of cuisines to our students while they are studying. But yes, we do have some Indian restaurants also nearby, around 10 minutes drive, around 20 minutes drive, and students can enjoy everything from masala chai to biryani, from shahi paneer to chicken, whatever. But they will get all Indian spices around and food as well.
So they'll not miss like home there. They'll get
They will not.
the Indian food that they're looking for.
Yeah.
So coming back to the city is good. What about the history of the university? And what are the major courses? Like, look, I know there are a lot of majors and minors. I'll not go deep into it. But what are the suggested course that you'll say? Like in India, most of the courses that students look forward to is CS, IT, AI. When they move forward, now becoming popular is health, nursing. So what kind of a courses we do have for these students that wanted to study?
Yeah, so we are, I think the university is having history of like, we started in 1885, so
Okay.
long back, and it used to be a men's college for few years, and then I think around 1970 we became a university where we started accepting, we made it a co-ed, right, and we offer around 150 plus majors and minors, and lots of them are STEM programs. So be it business or computer science, as you mentioned, in computer science we have computer science, data science, analytics program, we have AI also as a minor. We are very popular for programs in biology, we have neuroscience, we have health sciences, public health, nursing is also there, and lots of programs are STEM. So being STEM program, students get extra OPT options in US, so it is always a good thing for them. Best thing about US universities is like you can choose as many majors as you want, as many minors as you want, and from any background. So if you want to study, say, business with music, you can do that.
Okay.
If you want to study computer science with film studies, you can do that. So students have different options, and that is why they are able to not only study what they want, but they are able to explore other industries also with these kind of different combinations these days.
So one more question coming from my side regarding all these courses that you have said, like they can do and pursue all the different courses. What kind of a profile do you look forward to? What kind of background do you want from a student side to apply for such courses that you're talking about?
Generally, we are looking at 3 GPA, which is around 65-70%. So not a very high class 10th and 12th marks we are looking at. But the thing is, like, we would like to see how focus is the student towards his or her education. That is why we offer up to 70% scholarships. So if the student is having around 65-70%, they can apply it, and we just need class 10th and 12th mark sheet.
Okay.
We are going to offer a place on the basis of those, and every student will get some scholarship, which generally starts from 20-30%. It can go up to 70%. And best thing is, like, with that scholarship will be offered, it will be 70%. So every year there's an inflation, but every year scholarship will be 70%. So it's
Okay.
not an amount.
On the inflated rate, it will be 70.
70% again. So, and it will be there for all 4 years. And students, so if I talk about entry criteria, we look at IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo. 1 English language score will be required. If the student is from CBSE, we can waive off that as well.
Okay.
We do not ask for SAT or ACT. Again, it's not mandatory, but yet the student has taken. And if he is having more than 500 in English in SAT, for example, we will waive off the English language test again. And only thing is, like, if your SOP and CV becomes important, because we would like to understand that why do you want to do this program, and why you are so keen to do it at University of St. Thomas. So that SOP becomes important. It is not for the admit, but it will be basically considered during your, when you are thinking about your scholarship amount. So please be careful while you're writing your SOPs and CVs, and or maybe some essays. It is it becomes important at that point of time, that's all. Otherwise, students can apply directly at our portal. There is no application fees. They can apply through
So
Common
there's
App.
no application.
No application fees. And when you apply through Common App, then there will be few essays they need to answer.
Okay. So 2 questions from here. One good news for students, no application fees.
Yes.
So 2 questions from my side. One is we keep on saying STEM. As our audience is new to the US, because we are a UK based company, we promote a lot of UK education, but now we are coming to USA. So can you just give us a bit more brief about what is STEM exactly, and what was OPT and CPT that you
Sure.
said, what exactly it means?
Sure, yes. Thanks for asking this question. It's a good question. So thank you so much for this. STEM is science, technology, engineering and mathematics. So I hope our students understand wherever they're going to study, whether it's UK or New Zealand or Australia or US, STEM courses, science, technology, engineering and mathematics are always in demand.
Okay.
And whenever we are talking to our students, they know. I mean, whether we know we talk about particularly STEM or not, but yeah, people who are going for computer science programs, or maybe biology programs, maybe IT programs, or maybe mathematics programs, they always are like in demand, because these countries, they always need engineers, they always need people from IT background and mathematics background, for example. That is why we call them STEM programs. And in US, people can go for CPT, which is curricular practical training.
Okay.
It is part of the program. So students are able to use that practical training through internships at our university, maybe 2 months, 3 months, and it's 1 year. And it is used during the program. Then students get 1 year OPT, which is optional practical training after the program, which is available for all students. But if you are doing a STEM program, if you've chosen a STEM major, for example, computer science or data science or data analytics or maybe biology or maybe actuarial science, for example, then you will get 2 years extra
Okay. So it's
of OPT. So total 3 years. Yeah,
3 years.
you students, for them it becomes 3 years to stay in the US, to look for jobs, and yeah, so they can utilize it. Yeah, exactly.
prove themselves that they are worthy to live in the
Exactly.
country and
Exactly. Yes.
Is it? So, ma'am, second question, as I said, like that comes into my mind after the system thing is, as you said, like the waiver is there for CBSE board. So, is it there for ICSE board also? It's very specific to CBSE board only?
Currently, it is very specific to CBSE
Okay.
plus A levels and IB. They do IB level. They don't have to take IELTS
Okay.
or English language test, basically.
Okay. So,
ICSE still we can consider, I think, but state boards,
state boards not
they will have
considered.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Not a problem. So, going more deeper into SOP, as you mentioned, that it's an important part of the application. What is your recommendation as a representative of the university? What all important point it should have to be a perfect SOP for the university to be get considered and get extra scholarship?
SOP, to be very honest, it is not required for admission.
Okay.
So student who is having 85% will get admission and will get some scholarship also. But if you want to really show yourself that, you know, maybe that SOP can have something like, okay, from where, what kind of incident has changed my life, which can be an essay also. But yeah, why I want to do this program, why I want to do this from US, how you're going to relate this program to your ambition, maybe where you want to work later. And I mean, if you have seen this program thoroughly, you have seen the modules, then you are able to depict your interest.
Okay.
And it is not that, okay, I belong to this particular family and I have this and this and that. No, those typed ones, I mean, the stereotyped ones are not required. I always tell my students, nothing is scripted. We don't have to script ourselves in anything. But we need to mention that how this program will change my life.
Okay.
That is important. So maybe a 4 paragraphs or a 5 paragraphs is more than enough. We are not looking into stories. We are not looking into like, big histories and all, because after some time, then it becomes like, you are trying to repeat things. So repeated things are not required. Repetition is not required.
So, apart from undergrad, do you have any courses for postgrad also for international students?
Yes, we have around 10 programs in engineering and software, and currently 2 programs in business school is MS in Business Analytics program and MS in Supply Chain Management. And then we have
Does
MS,
they come under STEM?
they are all STEM.
Okay, there.
We have MS in Mechanical Engineering, Electrical Engineering, we have MS Regulatory Sciences, we have MS in Data Science, we have AI.
So, as we are moving forward, I would like to know, is there any GRE or GMAT score is required? Or is it like not required?
No, GMAT, GRE is not required.
So, IELTS is basically enough for a student,
Yeah.
and waivers are also available for the same.
IELTS is enough, yeah. IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo or PTE maybe, and we accept home-based TOEFL also.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, ma'am, now the rest thing, the most important point that every single parent want to know, because and for undergrad, a lot of parents are the one who make the decision for the student. So ROI, as I said, like is a big concern for the student, that what kind of jobs are available, part-time jobs opportunities after the course is complete. What are the internship opportunities available for the students? So can you please shed more light on it?
Sure. I think ROI is important for everybody. I do agree with them, and if I would have been on their place, I would have asked the same question. So yeah, ROI. I mean, if I talk about University of St. Thomas, I'll give you one example. We used to do career fair with all the universities in Minnesota.
Okay.
We used to do it together, but gradually we grew so much that company wanted us to have our own fair. So
Okay.
now we have our own fair. We invite more than 90 companies for that.
Okay, so it's like a placement fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do that. Generally, universities don't do, but we do.
I've never heard it, to be honest.
We do
Before.
one thing, and secondly, if we there is a list of universities which are like most sought after for the jobs and all. And in Minnesota, we always come at second place. First one is basically the men's hospital, which is because obviously doctors are doctors, so that is why they earn more. Their earnings are higher, but we are always the second. So in terms of it is not only about the internships, but in terms of income also, we are at number 2.
Okay.
One. Secondly, if you know about the area, the Minnesota, if you have heard of Fortune 500,
Yes, obviously.
17 out of them are having their head offices in Minnesota.
Okay.
So it is one of the place where students are going to get the lots of internships. It's not only about them, it is about us also, because our class has around 21 students. So we really focus on the students' profile. We really want our every student to get into internships and all, especially the students who are into engineering and computer science and all. 80% of our students, they get regular internships. I'll take one example of one of my student who is currently studying. She will be passing out next year. She's from Nashik. Her name is Dimpi Patel. She is pursuing her graduation in computer science along with economics as a minor, and she has recently got an internship in Minnesota Transport Department.
Okay.
So students are getting internships in government departments also. It is not only about the private sector which is open for them, and they get lot of support from the professors, not only professors but also from the career development department. At every stage, our students are taken care of. So what I feel, from day one, when they arrive at the airport, we will be having our own people to pick them up from there. As I mentioned, though a university is only 10 minutes away, and then we have bi-weekly check-ins with them. So we have our team over there at international office who do check in with them. So orientation, everybody's like overwhelmed. You need to open your bank account, or you need to go for your what are the traffic rules, and I don't want to stay with this person, or this accommodation is bad, and that, this and that. But gradually they settle down. So we call each and every student. My international director herself, she meets everybody that, have you joined your clubs? Now we have more than 140 clubs at our university. You like music, we have a club. You like pets, we have a club.
Okay.
You like guitar, we have a club. We have a Bollywood Desi club, for example, where we enjoy, students enjoy a Bollywood night, for example. They celebrate all festivals, be it Diwali or be it Holi. Right, so we have different clubs for our students. Secondly, we have around 21 Division 1 teams. There is a good story behind this, that we were Division 3 earlier, and but in every conference, once we were kicked out. Why? Because we used to win every sport. Like in every sport, we used to be the winners, and then other universities, like they were against us, that you cannot be part of Division 3. So we were kicked out. And then we went to NCCA to check that what shall we do. NCCA changed their rules to take us to Division 1.
Okay.
So we were never in Division 2 because we were so good. So we have around 21 Division 1 teams, and students from India, they join these teams also. They can play as a team player, as a team, because if they are international, obviously if they're playing international or at states level, district level, they can always get in touch with us. Then we connect them with the coach there, students can get scholarships also, because at division 1 level you are able to give scholarships as well, and students can study there. So we do have students from different cities who are for example, we have like tennis students, one from Chennai, one from Bangalore. These girls are studying with us at like on scholarship, and they are playing also with the in the team.
So what kind of a scholarship, as you keep on mentioning scholarship, so it's like up to 70% you said there are scholarship. Is there anything beyond that you offer?
Yes, we in business and entrepreneurship we have full tuition fee scholarships also.
Okay, so there will be no fees.
No fees.
No
No
tuition
fees for all 4 years.
No tuition fees for
No tuition fees for all 4s. And in business school, I think if the student gets that scholarship, they will get one option for study abroad also, free.
Okay.
So very, very good scholarships, and it's just that we have a last date for that. It is 6th of January. If the students apply for that, then they will be applying for that scholarship. There will be an interview for them. If they clear that, then there is no fee for all 4 years. In entrepreneurship department, the Best Buy CEO, it is called School of Entrepreneurship. We are in top 19 for that, and we have got some funding from him. So in case a student is having some business plans in their mind, they can even get funding from us. We are in top 23 in engineering in the US, and our university is otherwise ranked as 148. We are in top 17 Catholic universities in the US.
So what better can a student get when it comes to 100% scholarship? I can't even imagine that something. I didn't even know when I was making my study abroad plans way back in 2009. Otherwise, 100% scholarship is something which
Yes.
quite unbelievable that you're doing. Thanks a lot for this information.
And again, what I feel is like students go to popular cities like be it New York or be it California or New Jersey or maybe Texas or Houston, but living cost in Minnesota is way lesser than California or New York.
Okay.
So students, I mean, it is not only about safety. It is not only about safety. It is about like how much you're gonna spend there.
Yes.
Plus, we help our students with lot of part-time jobs. We have lots of part-time jobs on our campus itself.
Okay.
Students will be earning around $15 per hour, and they are able to earn good money, say around $4,000-5,000, which is we call it their pizza money. But yes, they are able to earn, and they don't have to go anywhere. That is the best thing. They are staying at the campus, they are working, they are studying, the whole day they are busy. So we have created such kind of communities for us, for our students. That is the reason students feel, they are having home away from home. They don't feel that, where I am, I'm in a fix. I'll give you a few more examples. Students like, plagiarism is a big thing in foreign countries. Now we have separate departments. You need extra support in mathematics, we have a department. You need extra support in your writing skills, we have a department. You need extra tutoring options, we have departments. So students, they don't have to look into the notebook of their classmate. It is not required at all. Because there are departments who will help them out, who will guide them how to do it. So job done.
Yep. And so what about the full-time job? Like, look, I understand we have internship. I understand we have a lot of part-time jobs availability. We understand it's 100% scholarship things. But and the best part, you said like a lot of companies come into your own campus to recruit. Like 90 plus companies came last time. But what is the average job placement kind of a word I'm using it? Like if 100 student is going to study there, what is the current record that you have on paper that normally are 90-95% student? What is the exact percentage that?
For undergrad, it is 97% of 2023 batch. 97% students got job within 6 months of finishing the program, and average salary was $61,000.
So that's the answer.
That's the average, but it is much more higher for engineering and computer science.
It's a one-liner answer for all the ROI questions that like if you're sending the student, 97% of them, अगर आप पढ़ रहे हो तो आपको जॉब लगेगी. And sorry for using Hindi because a lot of audience is the parents who are listening to it. So it's important for me to pass on the message to them.
Yes.
So like it's good. अगर आपको 100% scholarship मिल रही है और आपको placement मिल रही है तो I don't think so आपके पास इससे कोई भी better option है US में जाने के अलावा. So ma'am, going forward, we are kind of on the end of our show with you. I just wanted to know what is your suggestion when a student decided to go abroad. I mean to say, what kind of a popular course that you have in your campus, which is really popular and kind of 100% job oriented.
We are very popular for our engineering programs. As I mentioned, we are in top 23. We have engineering in computer science. We have electrical, mechanical, and electrical, mechanical, civil engineering. These 4 engineering programs we have. if you know geography wise, Minnesota is very popular for steel industries, engineering. We have around 150 tech companies to look for internships and jobs once you finish the program. And health sector is very, very strong. So people who are coming for these sectors especially, they are in safe hands that
So
way.
any specific requirement for health sector and nursing programs? Because a lot of students who want to, because nursing is now becoming popular, biomedical is started getting popular, microbiology have started getting popular. So any specific requirement for these students? I mean to say they have to be from PCB background or something like this.
PCB background helps them, but for our nursing program, it is not that easy to get through.
Okay.
It is a direct program, but yeah, students will have to come for a kind of 6 months of foundation first. If they really do well in that, then they get selected for nursing program. But good news for our students from India is like we offer pre-medicine. So pre-medicine is basically you join that pre-medicine program, and with that you will be studying modules like maybe biochemistry or biology for global health, or maybe neuroscience as your majors. Along with that, you will be preparing for your MCAT. After 2 years of your study in graduation, like of this program, you will be start preparing for MCAT. And we have a dedicated person there who will help you out with schools in US for medicine. Because I think if students are aware that in medicine in US is unlike India. In India, students can do medicine after class 12th, but in US it is done after graduation. So graduation has to be done. But in that graduation, we will come to you with a list of universities at where you can get through and where you cannot, which is international students friendly, and how many, like what are the chances for you to get through, right? And students can do their medicine anywhere in US or Canada or Caribbean. Everything is open for them. And students, we have students who are joining for pre-medicine program, or maybe pre-veterinary, or maybe pre-dentistry, pre-pharmacology, pre-pharmacy. We have all these programs and students are really enjoying.
So thanks a lot, madam, for sparing your time today and educating our audience. It was really very nice talking to you today, and knowing that a university exists with 100% scholarship was quite unbelievable. But now it's like a good thing to know for all our audience. And I'm quite sure we'll come up with some more questions when students start asking it in our comment section. So ma'am, any specific message for our audience today before we leave from here?
Specific messages like if you're looking for US universities, then yes, you should look at everything, not only at the rankings, because rankings become immaterial when you look at the program and other facilities. That way, University of St. Thomas is one of the best universities. Minnesota is one of the best and safest places, and we are quite liberal in scholarships. So yes, please apply for that. And so recommendation is like, please apply through admission card, because they know about everything. It is not only about the application part, but yes, you will be counseled from your application that which program you should choose, what will help you more, and then application, admit, visa until you reach there. So use their services, they are here for you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for recommending us, madam. Just to add on to that, we have an NGO also known as Savvy Foundation, through which we give a lot of free services and some kind of a small scholarship from our side also to these students. Just to add on to this
It's amazing.
from the university.
That's amazing. So another good news for you.
So thanks a lot, madam. Thank you for coming
Yes.
to our show today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.